King of the Road Productions proudly presents a CoJo and Country episode of the Jim King of the TV show on Fox 4, the CW, Strike TV, and YouTube, Southeast Texas style. During the half hour, we'll check out Texas country superstar Cody Johnson live in Southeast Texas.
I was born and raised in Sebastopol, Texas, and I moved to Huntsville because that's where the family business was. In my family, you either was locked up in prison or you worked for the prison, one of the two.
We'll feature the Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback. We'll also wear the Southeast Texas debut of Brooke Graham's new video. It's our Taylor Trading Company music clip of the week from Nashville. And Jeff Bates will be in the Royal Spotlight. Sponsored by Glenn's Express Collision. Howdy, and welcome to the Jim King of the TV show on Fox 4, the CW, Strike TV, and YouTube. I'm Jim King of the Road, and I want to know, have you taken the King's Country Challenge yet? Listen to the other guys for a few minutes, then stream King's Country and you'll love the improvement. You won't find a better country music mix on AM, FM, satellite, or elsewhere on the internet. King's Country was designed and launched in 2011 by fellow country radio veteran Mickey Ashworth and yours truly with the Southeast Texas country fan in mind. King's Country only plays the very best country from today and yesterday. Never settle for less.
In less than 100 years, radio has come a long, long way. We've gone from this to this.
Alexa, play King's Country on TuneIn.
King's Country from TuneIn.
And this. Now you can stream us everywhere.
King's Country streams the most magnificent country music mix on the planet 24/7. Stream King's Country Internet Radio on your PC, smart speaker, mobile device, or in your vehicle with your Bluetooth connection. King's Country streaming worldwide and crystal clear on TuneIn, iTunes, Live 365, and at kingscountry.net. And don't miss the multi-award winning and nationally recognized Jim King of the Radio show, middays, Monday through Friday on King's Country at kingscountry.net. It does rule.
Breaking news from Larry's Old Time Trade Days in Winnie, Texas. Here's Larry Barron, owner of Larry's Old Time Trade Days.
Boy, Jim, I'll tell you what, we had a great show last month in May, and here comes June 9th, 10th, and 11th. I want to tell you what, it's going to be a great show. We're going to have good people out here. We have several new food vendors coming out. Their food is absolutely outrageously good. You got to come out and try it. We've got all the tried and true stuff you've been eating for years. Flowers are out. Our people are bringing the plants in. Come and get them. You know, we can beat anybody's prices. Thanks, and come see us.
Thank you, Larry. See you at Larry's Old Time Trade Days in Winnie. Now ride shotgun with me to Jasper, Texas to check out country superstar Cody Johnson live in concert. We always cruise Cadillac style, as seen and heard on Southeast Texas TV and radio.
Extra large and turbocharged. It's the King of the Road show.
Oh, hi to the guy.
One man has the power to take you behind the scenes. Jim King of the Road. Jim King of the Road.
This is a song for all the exes tonight. It's called I Don't Care About You. No! I refuse to argue with you, baby. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm not some Johnny come lately. So there's the door you can walk right through, 'cause tonight I don't care trying to make things right. I'm just not in the mood, and I'm damn sure not gonna fight tonight. And if this is some kind of premonition, how it's gonna be with you. I'm out, I'm done, baby, I'm through.
Johnson. It's great to meet you.
Thank you, sir.
Texas
You
Country
too.
Troubadour Cody Johnson. Grew up not too far from this area in the piney woods of East Texas. Groveton?
Groveton. Yeah, I went to high school in Groveton. There's a little bitty tiny town called Sebastopol, and it's like a feed store and a couple churches and a couple of bar rooms, and that's it. You blink, you miss it.
You were homeschooled for a long time, weren't you?
I did. My dad worked for the state my entire life, and it was one of those, my mom wanted to be home with us, and looking back, I appreciate it, but then I went to high school in Groveton, started high school rodeoing, and that kind of led to this whole shebang we're doing tonight.
I think your dad, Carl, actually taught you your first chords, didn't he?
Yes, sir. He did. He was my family's always been musical. Every Thanksgiving and Christmas, it was always gather around the piano or gather around the guitar, and music's just always been instilled from me from a very young age on both sides of my family, and so it kind of stuck.
And high school kind of worked out for you too, because you got into the FFA, and I think that's where you had your first band. You got encouraged by your teachers?
My ag teacher, Larry Fortenberry, and this is no lie, he said, you're going to play, and you're going to play well, and you're going to succeed. And I said, I don't know if I want to. He said, no, son, you don't understand. You're going to play. And I said, yes, sir. And that's how we started our first band. But he also encouraged me to rodeo. And, I wrote my first time at his house and encouraged me to rodeo. And little did he know, later on, we'd be selling CDs off the tailgate at rodeos. So,
Cody Johnson, you kind of had a beginning sort of like Chris Ledoux, because he did the same thing, selling CDs out of the back of his car and hitting the rodeos. Huh?
I didn't realize that at the time. I'd always grown up, Chris was a big influence on me, but I didn't realize that he had come from such a humble upbringing as far as financially and had to do that. We did a trip up to Canada this year, and I actually got to sit down with Chris's old hauling partner. He's like an 8-time saddle bronc Canadian champion, and he was telling me these stories about how Chris couldn't buy McDonald's, and he was selling his CDs to try to make up for his entry fee money that he lost. And you're talking about a world champion. So I said, well, at least we know we're doing one thing right. We can follow in those footsteps. Those are good ones.
One of the thrills of my radio career was actually getting to meet Chris Ledoux.
You're kidding.
This was probably 10 years ago, just before he passed.
See, now I'm a little jealous.
Oh. Well, there's nothing to be jealous of. I was in a kind of a cattle call, like they do at the backstage areas. But another cool thing is you were actually a prison guard, weren't you? For the Huntsville prison?
Yeah, people say that all the time. There's like 7 within the city limits there, and like I said, I grew up around a prison farm, and the only thing that bothered me about working there and quitting was going to shows afterwards. First time we went to Amarillo, I heard, "Look out, boss." Turned around, and it was 2 guys that had worked for me in the field, and it kind of make you nervous, but I'm proud of where I came from, man. My dad taught me real young to work hard if you wanted it, and my wife quit her job she quit school and got a job when I quit mine to help me do this.
So you did quit your day job a couple of years ago.
Yes,
from the prison.
Did.
Yeah.
And it was, I would never go back.
I'm assuming everybody in here knows where Huntsville, Texas is, huh? I was born and raised in Sebastopol, Texas. And I moved to Huntsville because that's where the family business was. In my family, you either was locked up in prison or you worked for the prison, one of the two.
Still to come, we'll air the Southeast Texas debut of Brooke Graham's new video as our Taylor Trading Company music clip of the week from Nashville. We'll also feature the Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback. And Jeff Bates will be in the Royal Spotlight. Sponsored by Glenn's Express Collision on Cardinal Drive in Beaumont. Next, we'll conclude our exclusive with Texas country superstar Cody Johnson, a.k.a. CoJo.
You're cruising in the King's Caddy.
King of the road.
Glenn's Express Collision on Cardinal Drive in Beaumont has been family-owned and operated for more than 30 years, and they are recommended by most of the major insurance companies. Here's Glenn's Express Collision owner, Michael Holcomb.
Most of our jobs are referrals from insurance because we're tightly niched with those specific insurance companies. They trust us as a shop because they know we're going to treat the customer right, we're going to do the repair right, and we're going to be here for when the customer needs to come back.
Glenn's Express Collision, 2615 West Cardinal Drive in Beaumont.
If we are to become what God wishes we would become, then we need to humble ourselves and pray and search for God and turn from our wicked ways. And then He will hear from heaven and forgive our sins and heal our families, heal our country. Do it today, for someday never comes.
Cruise to Larry's Old Time Trade Days in Winnie, the first weekend after the first Monday of every month. Larry's Old Time Trade Days, where you can find it here.
I'd like to play y'all some brand new music that I'm going to record on my next album. Is that all right with y'all? I am a young, fixing to be 26 years old, and I'm stuck between a generational gap because I don't do the Facebook thing as well. When I was growing up, if you had a problem with somebody, you went over to their house, you knocked on their door, you got out in the yard, you knocked each other upside the head, you shook hands, and you moved on about it. Am I right? So after the election, I kind of had so many people talking trash about all this from both sides. I chose not to talk trash. I chose to do what the good Lord put me on this earth to do, and that's pick up my guitar, a pen, and a piece of paper, write down exactly what I was thinking. So this is my latest passion of a song. I hope you guys enjoy it. Take it from the man who earned it and give it to the man who ain't the kind of things that's passed down where I was raised. The handouts ain't for men like us, it's what my daddy said. His words are true and I'll believe them till I'm dead. So I sit here on my front porch and I hear the whippoorwill cry for the long lost land of Dixie and sweet by and by. And I can feel the winds of change now blowing hard on the back of my neck. I believe in the red and white and blue, but lately all I see is red.
You went to Nashville a couple of years ago, and you actually have a producer, Trent Willman. He had a song called Beer Money, didn't he?
Beer Man.
Beer Man, that's what it was.
On Again,
yeah.
Off Again tonight, Dixie Rose Deluxe. He's a good friend of mine and a heck of a producer, even better songwriter and a better singer. And he kind of took me under his wing. And since, I've just signed a publishing deal out of Nashville and getting to write more for different artists. And he's opened up more doors than I'll ever be able to repay.
You working on another studio album?
We're actually going back in the spring. We're going to go start recording, and I'm going to take a year to record. I messed up last time and kind of said, this is when the CD's going to be done, and then had to try to get it done. But we're going to go take and let the creative just kind of flow out, see what we can. We've developed a sound over the year that's become more of a signature sound for us, and I think it's time we go spend some time in the studio and get to know that sound and kind of really hone it in. We were listening to Chris LeDoux's live album today, and you see so many similarities. I was thinking, man, guys, we need to kind of feel a little bit more of that out, and I'm excited about going to get and record this year, but we'll probably have it out by the end of the year, maybe.
Look away, Dixieland, look away, Dixieland. So I'll sit here on my front porch and I hear the whippoorwill cry for the long lost land of Dixie and her sweet by and by. And I can feel the winds of change now blowing hard on the back of my neck. I believe in the red and white and blue, but lately all I see is red. All I see is red.
King of the Road.
Here comes this week's Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback.
With you, I am.
Your new album just did fantastic on the Billboard chart and the country charts. Debuted at number 2.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and the new single doing well too.
Yes, sir. We've had With You I Am was our first single. It was kind of it was crazy because it was kind of my last choice on the song, on the CD for a single, and it wound up being the first choice of the crowd. It kind of blew my mind, and I like getting outside my box though. So there's the new single is called Wild As You, and it's the follow-up single to it. And man, it's really taken. It's such a crowd pleaser at the live shows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of my favorite parts of the set, and you'll see that tonight. That when we kick off into that thing, it just kind of. You watch the crowd kind of explode. It's pretty cool.
And they'll be mouthing the words, I'm sure.
Oh, no, they'll be singing louder than me. The biggest problem I have nowadays is hearing myself. And it's not because I'm going deaf. It's because our crowds are so loud that every night we're trying to figure out how to get my voice louder than that in my ears. And what a cool problem to have.
New album's called Gotta Be Me, and you started way back when you were about 12 years old, I think, did you?
Yeah, I've been playing for a while. It's been a lifelong affair.
King of the Road.
That was this week's Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback. Since 2008, Honky Tonk Texas and Silsbee, Texas has featured a steady stream of the very best in local, regional, and national touring bands. Pack up your posse and boot scoot over to Honky Tonk Texas for great concerts, dancing, drinking, and dining. Of course, steak night is every Thursday, and don't forget about the Honky Tonk Grill. Visit them online at facebook.com/honkytonktx and at honkytonktexas.us. Honky Tonk Texas and Silsbee has been entertaining Southeast Texas since 2008. Where have you been?
We are World Gym. Let's rock.
5 Star Feeds, located at 580 Highway 365 in Port Arthur, Texas, has it all, and they are locally owned by Tina Bean. 5 Star has all the feed you could possibly need, as well as planting and garden supplies, horse saddles and tack, and a kennel with dog grooming and boarding. 5 Star Feeds in Port Arthur, Texas.
King of the Road.
Howdy, and thanks again for watching the Jim King of the TV show on Fox 4, the CW, Strike TV, and YouTube. I'm Jim King of the Road. Still to come, Jeff Bates will be in the Royal Spotlight, brought to you by Glenn's Express Collision. But now it's time to air the Southeast Texas debut of Brooke Graham's new video as our Taylor Trading Company Music Clip of the Week from Nashville. Taylor Trading Company, located at 4125 College Street right here in Beaumont, Texas, is the only car company you'll ever need. Taylor Trading Company has the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in all of Southeast Texas. Owner Bill Taylor has been in business for decades, and he will make your car shopping a breeze from start to finish. And they finance everyone. Cruise by Taylor Trading Company and see all they have to offer with their king-sized inventory, or visit them on the web at taylortradingtx.com. Tell them you heard about it on the Jim King of the TV and radio shows. Everyone knows that when it comes to singer-songwriters, there's definitely something in the water down here in Texas. Brooke Graham is living proof of this and growing up in Port Aransas as her stomping grounds, the combination of Gulf Coast water and extra dose of musical magic in the mix. Here comes Her Highness and Flying Sea recording artist Brooke Graham with Easy Does It as our Taylor Trading Company Music Clip of the Week from Nashville.
In the sheets and you next to me, the Gulf Coast calling. I can hear the waves. Sleep late, baby. We ain't got no worries, we ain't in no hurry on this lazy day. Down on the beach, easy does it. Just love it. Walking in the moonlight, baking in the sun. Beautiful people having too much fun. Down on the beach, easy does it. love it. Walking in the moonlight, baking in the sun, beautiful people having too much fun. Down on the beach, easy does it. Down on the beach, easy does it. Down on the beach, easy does it.
If we are to become what God wishes we would become, then we need to humble ourselves and pray and search for God and turn from our wicked ways. And then He will hear from heaven and forgive our sins and heal our families, heal our country. Do it today, for someday never comes.
Coming up next, Jeff Bates will be in the Royal Spotlight. Sponsored by Glenn's Express Collision on Cardinal Drive in Beaumont.
King of the road.
Fulfill your need for speed with remote control fun from Holcomb Hobbies at 2615 Cardinal Drive next to Glenn's Express Collision in Beaumont, Texas. At Holcomb Hobbies, you'll find a huge selection of remote control trucks, cars, boats, and dragsters, along with all the parts and accessories you'll ever need.
You can upgrade everything on them. You can upgrade wheels, tires, motors, servos, which is your steering. You can do lift kits, suspension. Anything you can do to a real truck, you can do to these pretty much.
Holcomb Hobbies, 2615 West Cardinal Drive in Beaumont, Texas, next to Glenn's Express Collision. Cruise to Larry's Old Time Trade Days in Winnie, the first weekend after the first Monday of every month. Larry's Old Time Trade Days, where you can find it here. As a RE/MAX agent, Suzanne Simmons is dedicated to helping her clients find the home of their dreams. Whether you are buying or selling a home or just curious about the Southeast Texas market, Suzanne would love to offer her support and services. Call her today at 409-880-5307.
I just try to think, as I was writing this, what if I could just call my mom? And that's where the song came from. It's called If Heaven Had a Phone. If heaven had a phone, I'd call it every day, just to hear my mama's voice and let her know that I'm okay. And I'd tell her that I love her like I didn't get to do, 'cause I got there too late and she left here too soon. And I'd talk on and on if heaven had a phone. And I'd tell her about her grandbaby that she never got to see, how she looks just like her and how she acts just like me. And she'd laugh and say, I told you, boy, one day you'd get what you deserve. And she'd be right, 'cause there were times that I was rough on her. And I'd say, I'm sorry, mama, I was wrong. If heaven had a phone. And I'd say, can I talk to daddy? And she'd tell me you just missed him. He's sitting out there on that river. You know how he loves fishing. then the last thing that I do before I said goodbye is I'd ask to speak to Jesus, just so that I could thank him for my day and all that's good and right, for making her my mama and for giving me my life. And I'd talk on and on if heaven had a phone. Yeah, I'd talk way too long if heaven had a phone.
Glenn's Express Collision on Cardinal Drive in Beaumont has been family owned and operated for more than 30 years, and they are recommended by most of the major insurance companies. Here's Glenn's Express Collision owner, Michael Holcomb.
Most of our jobs are referrals from insurance because we're tightly niched with those specific insurance companies. They trust us as a shop because they know we're going to treat the customer right, we're going to do the repair right, and we're going to be here for when the customer needs to come back.
Glenn's Express Collision, 2615 West Cardinal Drive in Beaumont. Texas Hot Country Magazine is one of the oldest magazines in the Houston area and affiliated with 2 Houston radio stations, the new 93Q and Country Legends. We target the very lucrative family-oriented country music and Texas music market. Grab the latest issue at TexasHotCountryMagazine.com and check out Jim King of the Road's new column. For Texas Hot Country Magazine advertising rates and information, please contact Leon Beck at 281-702-2242.
Nestled between Beaumont and Lumberton, Texas, is the beautiful Book Nook Inn Bed and Breakfast. It hosts visitors from around the world. Locals love it also as a quick, relaxing getaway from their everyday life. Swimming, fishing, viewing a movie in its unique theater room, and more awaits them at the inn. It's also a premier wedding venue. Many couples have exchanged vows in front of its gazebo or its event room. Book Nook Inn hosts reunions, vow renewals, murder mysteries, and more. We hope soon you'll be our guest at Book Nook Inn.